Hello, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and I'll be answering some questions about the blogs or what questions that come in. And the first one is from Annie Sorensen, and I can't believe, Annie, this is the perfect question. I mean, as I was walking in the room, it was on my mind, and I sit down here, and here is the question. So it's absolutely a perfect question. And the question is, if you could start your business life over today, what, if anything, would you do differently? What business or businesses would you launch first? Why? And the second question, because it's basically the same way I'm going to answer it, is what's the best piece of advice you've ever received? Well, first of all, as you may know, my poor dad was the head of education for the state of Hawaii. And he got fired around age 50 because he ran for lieutenant governor against his boss, the governor. And he left, he entered school at age 5 and got kicked out at 50, Whereas I never did that well in school. I mean, I went to a great school and all that, but I never did well. But this is my whole thing about business, and the reason I was thinking of this question. The reason so many people fail in business is because they have book knowledge, but they don't have real life experience. And take this as my tip, okay? Experience is expensive. Experience is expensive because experience only comes via making mistakes. And the reason most school teachers are not wealthy, because if going to school made you rich, then school teachers would be multimillionaires. The reason they're not wealthy is because they tell everybody what they believe, which is you don't make mistakes. If you make a mistake, you're stupid, you're a failure. But that is so contrary to the way we live and we learn. I didn't learn to ride a bicycle by being afraid of falling off. I kind of knew I was going to fall off. To learn to walk, the baby will stand up and fall down, But what a school teacher would do is punish the kid. You stupid kid, you fell down, and punish them. So they never walk, they crawl all their lives. And that's what happens to so many people when they leave school. They crawl all their lives, they never stand up. They're so afraid of making a mistake and failing. But via experience, I'll say it again, experience is expensive. I've lost millions, I've made millions, I've lost $10, I've made $10, but they're all priceless because mistakes are how we learn. And unfortunately today, with so many people losing their jobs and young people not being able to find a job, they're saying, oh, I think I'll become an entrepreneur. Well, the problem is you'll go through the learning curve, and the learning curve is stand up, fall down, stand up, fall down, stand up, fall down. And that's what is expensive. So that's why Donald Trump and I are good friends, because we believe in apprenticeship. He was apprenticed to his father, and I was an apprentice to my rich dad. As apprentices, we get real world, real business experience. So one of the things I advise young people is rather than just running off and starting your own business, if you can get a job as an apprentice to an entrepreneur, not a corporate guy, but an entrepreneur, because they're different people, and you can get real life experience, and they'll tell you exactly the way it is. And you actually get to practice and make mistakes on their dime. So the best piece of advice I ever received from my rich dad was that when I lost my first business, my poor dad, the school teacher, said, oh, that's terrible. And my rich dad said, congratulations, you lost your first business. And he says, most entrepreneurs, most successful, and lose 2 or 3 businesses in their lifetime. Well, I probably lost a lot more than that. But that experience has made it priceless. The best advice I had from my rich dad was do not be afraid of making mistakes, because mistakes are how we learn. And that's why most school teachers are not rich. They don't make any mistakes. The A students. And the dummies like me make a lot of money. So as the old saying goes, A students work for C students. I'm a C student. And B students work for the government. And that's why our government is so screwed up. They're full of B students. And guys like me who are the C students, I can pay the A students the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year because they're good brains. But I still make the big bucks. So if I could conclude this whole thing by saying this is a bit of advice I have for people. This comes from my book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. And this is the quadrant. And these are the 4 basic people that make up the world of business. Employees, self-employed, small business, or specialists, like a doctor, lawyer, and accountant. Big business, this is like Stephen Jobs, Bill Gates, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and investors like Soros or Buffett. The problem is most of our schools, like my poor dad, they say, go to school and get a job, and so we're programmed, many people are programmed from birth to be employees, job security, steady paycheck and benefits. And my mom told me, she says, if you want to be rich, become a doctor or become a specialist. But S also stands for smart, and I was a C, D, and F student, so she says, I guess you'll never be a doctor. I said, you're correct. So it was my rich dad who said that I had best chances here. Now this is the advice. He says, to be successful here, you have to make a lot of mistakes. You will make a lot of mistakes. The key to being an entrepreneur is how fast can you learn. You know, so today I'm reading constantly, I'm studying constantly, I never stop. And the other thing about it is this, is that he said you must dedicate your life. That's what Rich Dad said. You dedicate your life to one of these things. So the benefit I had when I was about 27, 28 years old, I dedicated my life to this. And today, I'm still screwing up. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still making huge, you know, before the mistakes were $10, then they became $100, then 100,000, and today they're $10 million mistakes. But every mistake I make, I get smarter, and that's priceless. So that's the lesson. I dedicated my life here, and for people who want to transition from E and S to this, the price is called experience. And that takes time, so that's why we always recommend the Rich Dad Company. Keep your daytime job, start a part-time business, and get some experience. So thank you for the question. It's a great question, Annie, and I appreciate it.